Hello and welcome to another wonderful Friday on Speaking for Him. I'm Dan VanZalan and here's your host, Andrew Gomison.
Hello, Dan. This is Andrew, and I'm grateful to be back with you here on the podcast. Now that we have passed Thanksgiving, it is officially the Christmas/holiday season, so we can begin talking about things related to that. And as I was thinking about episodes to do in relation to Christmas, I realized that we've done a lot of Christmas shows here on the podcast, and I've always trying to come up with some fresh ideas. Well, a couple of years ago now, I had a young lady on the podcast by the name of Maggie Hartman, who is the owner and founder of Maggie's Flowers, and she told us a little bit about the work that Maggie's Flowers allows her to do, and I decided it would be a good time to have her back on the show, because as I said, it's been a few years, and she has a lot of busy work around Christmas time, so I'm happy that she's here.
But sure.
But before we introduce her again and talk to her for a few minutes, Dan, can you give us our quote of the day?
Indeed. Giving is not just about making a donation. It's about making a difference. Kathy Kelvin.
All right, and I really feel like Maggie is one of these people that does make a difference on the regular basis. If you get a chance, follow Maggie's Flowers on Facebook, and you'll find out a lot about the things that she is doing. But I just want to welcome you back to the show, Maggie. Thanks for coming back to talk to us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, for those that may not have listened to the first episode, or even for those of us who were around then, can you give us a little bit of a refresher? Tell us a little bit about Maggie's Flowers. How did you start doing it and why, and things like that?
Yeah, so when I was 5, I wanted to go hang gliding on a family vacation. And so it was $100. My parents didn't have that just for me, so we started brainstorming about ideas that we could use to come up with that money, and we came up with selling flowers. Mm-hmm. So that year, I raised enough money for my dad and I to go hang gliding. And then the next year, I wanted to sell flowers again because I had a lot of fun, but we weren't going on a huge trip and we didn't really need fundraising. So I came up with ideas on where to donate it, and we came up with giving gifts for kids at Christmas time. So that was 2010, and now it's obviously 2019. And so this year I'll be giving away 500 to 600 gifts.
How many different places do you give gifts at?
So I give gifts at a local food pantry. That'll be about 100 gifts. Zeeland Public Schools, I'll do the entirety of Zeeland Public Schools and give them some gifts, so that'll be about 400.
So does that mean like every student, or how does that work?
So the teachers will be able to pick who they think will need it.
Okay, so some needy students.
Yes, and then they'll just come and shop for their kids.
Awesome.
For Christmas. Yep, and then 38 people at a local nursing home, and then a couple different families, so they get a couple needs, a couple wants, and just some nice stuff for Christmas.
Now do you still go to Sunny Creek Youth Ranch?
No, we don't do that anymore.
Okay, so that was something that they did before?
Yes.
But now they are doing some different things. So tell me, do you have any particular stories or highlights from the past that stick out to you, that stories that you could tell us about, things that motivate you to keep going as you continue with Maggie's Flowers?
Yeah, just sometimes when we did the youth ranch, and when we get to see all the elderly people at the nursing home open their gifts, just how excited and sometimes shocked they are to see that we bought a gift just for them. It just is really motivating, and it's what keeps me motivated when I'm out weeding the garden in the summer.
So you said, if I remember correctly, you said you bought for about 500 gifts this year, giving out about 500 gifts this year?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And what are some plans that you have to make Maggie's Flowers even bigger? What are some thoughts that you have about the future?
So in January, we're planning on becoming 501c3, so we can just be able to do a little bit more. Next year is our 10th anniversary, so I kind of want to make $10,000 just to help more people. So that's kind of
be nice.
A goal.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And this year is 10 years for Speaking for Him, so that's really cool.
Oh, that's super cool.
That kind of coincides. Do you have any, like, do you ever sell flowers directly, or do you have any, like, deals for the holiday time?
We don't have, like, specific deals just for me, but we definitely take advantage of all the Black Friday and Cyber Monday and stuff. And also in January and July, they have a lot of clearance gifts. So that's where we pick up most of the gifts that we'll have for, like, food pantry and the ZPS shopping night and stuff.
Okay. So if someone is interested in either donating or asking for you to do flowers for a special event, how can they contact you?
They could find me at Maggie's Flowers at rocketmail.com. That's my email.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I have a website, which is just maggiesflowers.com.
All right, that would be great. And so, is there a direct link on on the website to donate?
Yes, I have a donate page, and I can do PayPal, or you can just like send a check in the mail. My address is on everything else.
All right, that sounds awesome. Do you have any questions for Maggie there, Dan?
Nope, this is more fun just listening in.
All right, well, thank you, Maggie, for coming back and updating us on all things Maggie's Flowers. And so I really appreciate having you here, and it's great to kick off our holiday season and encourage giving by sharing the story of how you took the little ideas that you had and have had them grow. Maggie's probably too modest to mention this, but she has been a flower provider for how many Chick-fil-A restaurants is it?
Just one.
Just one? Okay. But she provides fresh flowers for one of our local Chick-fil-A restaurants, so that's pretty cool. And she's just had some amazing opportunities to reach out to the community, and that's definitely something that we want to encourage here on the Speaking for Him podcast all year round, not just at the holidays, but hopefully the holidays help us to bring giving into focus if it hasn't been our focus the rest of the year. Do you have any final thoughts, Maggie?
Not really, but thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, I really hope that you have been encouraged by what Maggie has shared today. Again, if you have want more information, we will make sure to put a link to Maggie's website on the blog post for this podcast so that you can avail yourself of everything to do with Maggie's Flowers, how to donate, how to maybe get her to do flowers for you. And
I suggest ask nicely.
Well, that's a good starting point. And we hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving and that you have a great weekend and that you keep serving the best of masters.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Your host has been Andrew Gomison, founder of Speaking for Him. For more information on today's show and to leave us comments and voicemails, visit speakingforhim.blogspot.com. You can find Andrew's ministry at speakingforhim.com. That's speaking, the number 4, HIM. You can also interact with us at facebook.com/speakingforhim and on Twitter @SpeakingForHim. And when you look for us on iTunes and Stitcher, let us know what you think of the podcast by leaving a rating and review.